What's up, everybody? It's Chris Peralta from PS Rewind. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Not only are we remastering games, remaking games, we're also now in the game industry, we're remastering and remaking gaming controversies. Who could have wrote this? IGN. Now, if you guys don't know, apparently Resident Evil 5 is racist. That's what this article is alluding to. I remember this controversy at the time of release was also a thing. So now we're remaking and remastering this. But IGN had put out an article, the Resident Evil game that can't be remade. So it's time to rewrite and not remake. So yeah. Now I will say I've heard a lot of people say that Resident Evil 5 kind of differentiates or goes down a different path instead of being so scary and, you know, horror elements. It's more of an action game. One of the things that I loved so much about the Resident Evil games, at least from what I've played, is that they all take place around different parts of the world. It's never one place. You get to experience how the virus is spreading and how it's affecting other countries. For instance, Resident Evil 4 takes place in like rural areas of Spain, so you are killing Spaniards. Now, no one, if you go look at the scores, nothing, reviews, no one has an issue with you doing that. Them turning into zombies, whatever the virus was, you know, no one had a problem with that. Resident Evil 5, the fictional, you know, area that you're dealing with is the West African country. And so the primarily protagonists would happen to be the color of the nation, which is more, you know, black. And it's not even that. It's more of the Ouroboros virus is the actual antagonist of the game. You know, one of the things that's laid out in this article is talking about how, you know, the primary antagonist is, you know, black people. Yet technically it's the Ouroboros virus. And, you know, that's what Chris Redfield and them are taking out. But to say that it's making the country seem like this mob-esque or anything, none of this was in Resident Evil 4. None of these problems were in Resident Evil 4 when it was killing Spaniards. And then it's kind of shameful for this article to come out and say that this would break Capcom's 7, you know, golden year streak of remaking and with these classic titles that they've been coming out with again. Now, something that they could do that I would love, you know, I'm totally fine with, you know, criticizing or critiquing, saying, you know, oh, maybe these action set pieces could have been changed, or they're, you know, people not being so on board with the, you know, action and wanted something more horror-esque, like, you know, Resident Evil 2 and 3, and then 4 I felt was a great mix, where I felt like there was a lot of, you know, spookiness, but also a lot of cool action pieces, fighting hand-to-hand combat that was really unique. At least to me, I had never played it. I really enjoyed it. Also combining, you know, backtracking and doing all these side project things where you could earn, you know, get some extra stuff to get money or, you know, jewels and stuff. I liked that. To mention that also you got a really, really great companion in the game that I've seen a lot of people praise, that they really enjoyed the character, who also happens to be black in this game. And yet everyone overlooks that, and they're just going straight for the, especially in this article, is going straight for the, this is the racist card, because, you know, they're black. They're in Africa. What else do you want them to be? Do you want them to be Asian, Chinese? It wouldn't fit in. It would be, I mean, on top of it, it doesn't even matter if it wouldn't even fit in. It's all fictional. Like, this is a zombies. Like, this is like something completely out of the norm. And, you know, they're also talking about in this article, you know, how remakes may be able to redefine their source material. But, you know, if they took out Africa from Resident Evil 5, it would no longer be Resident Evil 5. It would just be a different, entirely new game. So what do they want? And you know what's funny about this is that going back and looking at the actual score IGN gave Resident Evil 5 at the time, a 9? And yet, and I remember even at the time, there was so much controversy about that. And we had the voice actors saying, hey, like, the voice actors of the game were like, I mean, it takes place in this, you know, area. I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, stuff like that. And yet we're having articles written now, which specifically in this article, it also mentioned, especially after a time of the Black Lives Matter movement. What does that have to do with Resident Evil 5? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not one of those people that are, shouting from the rooftops, oh my God, this game went woke. These people are going woke. You will not catch me at that. I don't even care. Most of the time, it fits in the stuff. I've seen people made a big deal about gender-neutral bathrooms in the Dead Space remake. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't even notice that because I hate horror games. So I'm scared as it is. But to go out of my way and look at something like that and be like, oh my, they ruined my immersion. I'm out. We're talking about a zombie game in space, and that's what you're concerned with? No. Now, when it comes to something like this is where I actually do have a problem because it's unnecessary. It's writing stuff on behalf of just to make, for an argument's sake, to feel better about themselves. This game is not racist. The people who wrote this game, who made this game, are not racist. They just so happen to make an action zombie game in Africa. I mean, wow. And I'm all up for debate. If you want to criticize the action set pieces, you want to change certain things. Maybe you want to give the companion her own side story where you had two branching off things or something like that. Cool. Change, if there's things that when Capcom comes back to us and they say, hey, this is things that we could improve upon, I'm all for it. But when you get articles like this, it just feels cheap. It feels really cheap. And what's funny is even on IGN's own article where it says, what Resident Evil game should Capcom remake next? Literally, 5 is the number one most voted on. Second, which I'm totally okay with, is Resident Evil Code Veronica, Resident Evil 0, and then the original Resident Evil. I'm actually up for those because, like I said, I haven't really played the series. I just recently, last year, played 2. I just played 3, the remakes. I just played Resident Evil 4 remake, and now it's going to 5. Personally, for me, because of how I am with OCD order, I would love for them to go back to the prequels or Resident Evil and give it that same treatment because I would feel more complete. But they've already teased in the ending of Resident Evil 4 remake that they are going to 5. And really, it's the inconsistent for me. I mean, if you have no problem with Resident Evil 4, not even mention that you're in these rural areas killing Spaniards and, whatever, but you're against the going to Africa stance, I mean, come on, that's really cheap. Come on, IGN. I mean, it's IGN, you guys. But yeah, I don't think this game is racist. I don't think, like I said, I don't think anything about it happened to be racist. I just think they picked an area. That's where they decided to go with. I mean, like I said, the games span the world. I mean, it's all about, them going to different continents and dealing with the outbreaks and their stories and how it deals with it. I think it's stupid. I think Capcom personally has been on a great roll. And I think this is just going to be another, I don't know. It could be bad. Like I said, I've never finished the game. This remake could come out and it's terrible. Who knows? But at least from what I've seen lately from Capcom, it's looking like it's going to be good. Yeah, I thought I'd come on here and just talk about this because I think it's ridiculous what IGN, this article and everything. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you for the remake? Are you against it? Do you think that it's racist? Do you not think so? I mean, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts because I don't know. I read this article and I felt so conflicted on it because I was like, I don't think any of this, but the stretch and pull that they're going for, this writer went for, is just not cool. Not cool. Especially talking about, like I said, they've been on a streak. This is going to end it, whatever. Who knows? Like I said, the game could be bad. The game could be good. But this type of article does nothing for the conversation. But yeah, that's it, guys. I thought I'd come on here. But if you guys like the video, hit a like. If you guys haven't, subscribe. Appreciate it. But I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.